Anthony Edwards never wanted to bite his tongue. And in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, Ant-Man had this to say about 80s and 90s hoopers, saying, quote, "Didn't watch it back in the day, so I can't speak on it. They say it was tougher back then than it is now, but I don't think anybody had skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill, you know what I mean? So that's why when they saw Kobe, they were like, oh my God, but now everybody has skill. So didn't watch it, can't speak on it, then spoke on it." So several players, but it gets better. Several players from the era responded to Ant-Man, including Magic Johnson, who offered this response during an interview with Stephen A. Smith.
I don't never respond to a guy that's never won a championship. There's not nothing to really say. He didn't win a college championship. I don't know if he even won a high school championship.
So Magic doesn't respond to people who haven't won championships while responding to people who haven't won championships.
But it's the same. I didn't watch it, but they suck.
But it is worth noting, Ant-Man did win a state championship in high school his junior season at Holy Spirit Preparatory School in Atlanta. But do you understand why Magic is upset with Ant-Man's comments about the 80s and 90s?
Yeah, because that's his era. I mean, his opinion is, I respect his opinion too. Just like, people have their opinions all around. So, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Is it an opinion, though, or is it a...
That's his opinion.
To say hoopers in the 80s and 90s, maybe not...
I'm talking about his Magic statement and opinion?
That's just how he feels.
But what was the statement? He didn't have a statement.
I don't respond to people who haven't won championships.
But I think
what does that have to do with...
Magic is offended that he mentioned Mike and Kobe as being the only guys in the era with skill, and he knowing that his skill set is set him apart from all the point guards in history. He's like, well, so passing and making assists and winning ain't
a skill.
Opening up movie theaters in the hood, also a skill.
Yep, with the unlimited strawberry soda.
Unlimited.
They always.
Unlimited, Steve. We had never seen that before.
I agree.
Unlimited.
I agree with Anthony Edwards, and we all agreed with him.
Who? You agree?
We all did.
Don't say we, Gil.
We all did.
Who?
When we talked about Jordan, what did we always say? He was more skilled than everybody else. Did we not say that?
Well, people have said
he's more athletic
and
than everybody
skilled.
else.
Playing against Plumbers was
more talented.
So we was like, woo, he was far ahead of everybody else. And then when Kobe came, we was like, oh shit, Kobe's skill level is crazy at 18. We did say that.
But we didn't say Kobe was the only one with skill. We didn't say MJ
compared to when Kobe came in '96, him as a shooting guard, he was already compared to Michael Jordan. So if Michael Jordan's skill level was a 10, so when Michael Jordan's skill level was a 10 and Kobe came in at 18, his skill level already was like, oh shit, he's more talented than everybody else. He was moving better than everybody else. So even if Kobe was an 8 in skill level at 18, we already had him moving better than the rest of the class.
I think we're mixing up skill with talent.
He said skill. We didn't say nothing about talent.
That's what I'm saying. They're mixing up skill and talent because Kobe didn't come in as the most skilled or any. He was talented.
Who was more skilled than him?
Kobe was talent. He was pure talent. He was pure talent.
More skilled, not talented.
Rookie year, AI?
Talent.
Pure talent. Pure talent. Both of them was pure talent. They accumulated skills along the way. Along the way, Kobe got more skillful because he honed in these things about the fundamentals of the game, the way Jordan did. Along the way, after Jordan stopped using his athleticism, he got skillful. So what Ant-Man and I'm saying is like, Ant-Man's talking about talent.
Skill.
Ant-Man's talking about talent because he's matching his talent.
He's matching his skill.
Ant-Man can't go out there and give me half spin, full spin, up and under. Bop, bop. That's skill.
That's skill.
Right? He's doing pure talent. I'm just going to jump over you. I'm just going to jump over you.
Footwork. Like, that's what I say, y'all mixing up. First of all, what Magic, like, I hate when people do this. When someone says a general question about, how many people was in NBA in the 80s? Let's say 400 people.
Probably like 350 or 35.
Okay. How many were skilled?
In what year?
20 people was, when we say not just skilled,
not
good, we're not talking about good. Skilled.
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah.
John Stockton.
Was he?
Yes.
He was skilled like Isaiah Thomas.
Yes.
No.
Why not?
Kareem?
Ball
not
handling,
Kareem.
passing the ball, your skill. It might not have been pretty. It wasn't pretty like a
We're talking about we're talking about Hakeem. We're talking about extreme. We're not talking about level 4 skill. Anthony Edwards is a 10 in skill. So you have to think about where he's thinking at, right? So you're talking about Magic. Yes. Bird has skill. Hakeem Olajuwon was skilled. Michael Jordan was skilled. Right? So when you take the 10 people out of the 400, there's 380 people who falls under this category. So we don't need Isaiah Thomas coming out defending. Nigga, we're not talking about you. So if I say, hey man, majority of these girls in here ugly. We don't need the 4 pretty girls to come up and say, you talking about me? No, motherfucker, I'm not talking about you. Move them. All of them. That we're talking about the field.
Okay.
Right? So I hate
They got good hearts, Bill.
I hate when the talented people come out and you try to be offended like the rest of your people was skilled. Yes, Isaiah Thomas, Magic, right?
He said 2 people.
Magic.
He only said 2 people.
Did they have Jordan skill?
These guys really didn't have skill like that. Only Jordan.
Yeah, not like that. See, there's a key
Compared
word.
to Jordan.
Not like that. Jordan is level 10. Like it's like a car, dog, right? Jordan's level is 10. How many were moving on a level of skill level like him?
That's just scoring, though. We're just talking about scoring. Dennis Rodman was
that's
skilled.
not skill. That's a 10.
Rebound is not a
when
skill?
we talk about skill, we're talking about offensive. Come on, you know.
No, we not.
No one
bro.
talks about defensively.
But that's
Come
because
on,
they
man,
one
stop.
dimensional.
So Dennis
they
is
not real. They not real
But
students
come
of
on,
the
let's
game.
just keep it in the context.
No,
Let's keep it in the
bro.
context. His
What's the
skill.
context?
There's only a few people that was moving skillful, right? Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan.
Dominique.
What part?
Skill?
What
Did
part
he
of
go
that?
left? He was.
We throw Dr. J in
But he
there.
was
Dunking?
Was he skillful?
Dunking.
Come on. What moves did these people? Come on. Bird. George Gervin.
George Gervin.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Right, but remember, for the most part, the people in the 80s didn't even dribble left-handed. So it kind of hurts. It kind of, like, it started moving. Like, when Tim Hardaway came in, like, the 90s is when a lot more skill came in.
Larry Bird wasn't skilled?
I said Larry Bird.
So you saying all of the guys like that need to just move out the way?
Move out of the way.
So who is he talking about?
Move out of the way.
So then who is he
we can
talking
shoot.
about? So then who is he talking
He's talking about
all the guys
everybody
that are
else.
not
Everybody
NBA guys, not all NBA, all Hall of Famer guys? Let's
No,
talk
not
about
all of it. Most people in the Hall, when we're talking about skill, we're talking about movement. First of all, the movement in there was handicapped by dribbling anyway, right? So when you're talking about Isaiah, when we say Isaiah and Magic, and you put their skill level in and then say, all right, how many other point guards in the era match their skill? None.
Kevin Johnson.
Rod Strickland.
Rod Strickland.
That's 90s. Come on. Stop.
He's saying 80s and 90s.
Chris Jackson.
He said 90s.
Chris Jackson.
He's not talking about fucking 90 to 99. When he mentioned Kobe came in 96. Boom. And everybody's like, oh, shit.
So 80
this
to
kid
95.
Like when Kobe came with the crossing, that's a whole nother movement.
Allen Iverson.
So, but we
He's
talk,
not, but you know he's not talking about those guys.
so we capping it at 94,
So who is
95.
he
Ray
talking?
Allen?
94, 95, because
80 to
Kobe,
95?
94, 95, because when Kobe came in, that's where it stops. It's like, oh, shit, Kobe.
So who is he talking about then? If he's not talking about those guys, what guys are you
else.
About everybody else.
Like who?
Everybody else inside of those guys.
Okay, how about this?
Whoever
How about
else.
this? Name every shooting guard.
Was Tim Thomas skilled?
What?
That's 90s, though, right?
90s.
Was still
Late
Kobe. That's
90s.
within Kobe. He played
Late
Kobe.
90s.
That's Kobe.
It's before Kobe.
But
So
we're talking about
before
before Kobe.
Yeah. So when you talk about the shooting guards that played in Jordan's era, and he played against, where is the?
Rick Chapman was skilled.
Shout out Rick Chapman.
You just making this nigga points. You're just proving his point.
Rex Chapman wasn't skilled. Oh, you need to
Keep
look
going.
at. You need to look at. You need to look
Keep
at
going.
them.
Keep
You
going.
need to go look at them
Keep going.
highlights.
Keep going.
You need to go look at them highlights.
Steve
man.
Smith.
Keep going. Think about the shoot. Think about now. Think
Allen
about what you're
Houston.
saying.
Alex, we talking about skills though.
Now think about who you're naming. Now think about when he watches it from his point of view.
Which he said he doesn't. Which he said
but
he
what I'm saying
doesn't.
is, his talent, his movements, when you're looking back at that, he's like, this is not
That's not skill to him.
That's not skill to me.
Right, because he's talented. He don't know what skill is.
No, even moving.
He has no idea.
These niggas
He's
can't
saying
move
that.
like me. You take away my jumping ability,
That's
I still
talent.
got footwork.
That's not-
You
that's
take
talent.
away his jumping ability, his footwork is impeccable still.
Who, Ant-Man?
Yes.
He ain't got there yet.
Oh my God.
He ain't got there yet.
Name another
He's working to
Name
get
another 22-year-old that had footwork like him in history. Thank you.
Ant-Man?
Yes. Jokic is skilled, right? Right? Embiid is skilled.
Yes.
Right?
Skills.
Skilled.
Yes.
Right? Is Zion skilled?
He's talent.
Okay. Is Giannis skilled?
Talent.
Talent. Right? So he falls under talent.
You're not giving Giannis no.
So skilled. Like we're talking about. Oh, he got a spin move.
I think what he's saying is something you don't have to rely on your talent to get across. Like Joker don't have to rely on athleticism and all that shit. It's pure skill.
But you gotta remember, once someone like Hakeem put into motion a guy who had all that jumping ability and he still had footwork and skill, right? It's a thing. So when the 80s was handicapped by rules anyway.
Yes.
Right? It
Amongst
was
other things.
rules. Like, we seen Dominique Wilkins do a regular Euro and they called it travel. So the argument itself is handicapped by, what's the name? By just the time frame.
But it's
so having a package today, he can say we was unskillful because his package is more advanced than everybody else. So what he's saying is true.
He's already said it. It's just like Brandon saying that our generation was trash and woo, 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 and ain't compared to his.
Yes.
And then we look at theirs and we be like, all you niggas is talented. Y'all niggas don't even know how to play.
But that's not the argument. You can't change the argument to say, well, you couldn't last on our era. That's not the argument here. He's just talking about his movement compared to y'all's. My car today is faster than your Ferrari. You can't argue that.
Yeah, but that wasn't how he said. It's like how you say, man, back then I ain't really watched, but man, ain't nobody really had no skill like that back then. That's why I'm really not really interested in watching, because they really. And then you think about the guy who was back then, like, the fuck is this nigga talking about? We didn't have no skill.
I respect it.
You got me fucked up, bro.
But
I respect it.
And that's why KG and them felt the way they felt about the shit. They're like, hold up, bro. There was a lot of niggas that had real skill back then. If you're gonna be a student of the game, nigga, study the game. Don't ignore what had came before you.
What am I studying?
But what am I studying if I'm better than you?
It's not even about being better. It's not even about
looking at your fucking tape for.
What I'm saying is it's not about being better. Y'all are moving it for the argument.
I'm going back to early
90s, right? 80s. The 90s moved better than the 80s, right? They had more moves than the 80s did. 2000s had more moves than the 90s did. 2010 has more moves than these new niggas got way more moves. That's just the evolution. This has nothing to do with who is better. That is not the argument, who's better. The argument is skill. Who has more skill? These guys are more skillful in movement patterns. And why you think they can say, oh shit, Kyrie's the best dribbler in history? Yes, because his era allows, he has a more updated version than a Tim Hardaway and more than Isaiah Thomas and more than White Chocolate.
That's true.
He is allowed to do more things with the ball itself. So
he dribbles more.
No,
Isaiah Thomas used to dribble the hell out the ball.
Get off the ball, bro.
But that's not the argument. We're not talking about just before it was bouncing the ball like this.
Yep.
Then they gave you a little this. Now you got the full this. So the moves itself, they've created more moves. It's an argument that's pointless. It's like my Ferrari is faster than yours. Yeah, yours was top shit in the 80s. If we race today with your version and my version, the governor has changed, the wheels has changed, the brakes has changed, so my car is naturally just faster than yours.
Let me ask you this. Is going backdoor playing off the ball a skill?
No, that's not
It's not a skill?
You're trying to.
No, I'm just asking a question.
No.
If I hone in the point, you're talking about offensively, me having a bunch of moves is supposed to be a skill set.
That's the argument.
Right. So everything else to do with basketball when passing to your teammate, cutting, being able to be smart enough to know when to go for the offensive rebound, how to get positioned for the offensive rebound.
That's not the argument.
All of these different things are skills.
That's not the argument.
But it's
not
a
the
skill.
argument.
What's the argument?
Dennis Rodman rebounding and throwing his up. He's not part of this argument.
What's the argument then?
The argument is the people Jordan played against in his era, they wasn't as skillful as him.
That's what he's saying. He's saying he's going against better.
But that ain't
He's
what he
going
said.
against better competition.
That ain't what he said, though.
No,
Yes.
that's what he's meaning to say. I'm going against better competition than he did.
Here, right? Go back to what he said.
What?
I will read it again.
Not like that. They wasn't like that. Like
I'll read it again. I didn't watch it back in the day, so I can't speak on it. They say it was tougher back then than it is now, but I don't think anybody had skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only one that really had skill. You know what I mean? So that's why when they saw Kobe, they were like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
But now everybody has.
So
skill.
everybody. So saying everybody has
Michael Jordan was the only one that had talent back then, talent and athleticism. And now everyone in the league has the same thing that Jordan has, talent and athleticism. The skill?
You're proving
skill?
you're proving
Everyone that was playing back then, that's why Magic Johnson came out and said, what the fuck are you talking about? Everybody had skill when we was playing because we had to have skill. Because everybody wasn't athletic. Mike was the only one athletic.
Okay,
he was the talented. Everyone else had skill. We had to survive on our skill.
Niggas was drug addicts.
We still had to survive on our skill.
It still went out and performed, Brandon.
But still, even your dad, he's skillful
He's saying
at
the
that
same
position.
thing. He's just using a different word.
No, we're not.
See, he used skill, you're using talent.
The words are different.
So you're saying the same thing.
Skill.
How about this? Michael Jordan was the only one doing what Michael Jordan did. Does that make it better?
He was talented.
Michael Jordan was doing the only thing Michael Jordan. He was the only person of his kind. Does that help the argument now from what he's, because you're just changing his word.
How would you form that?
He's saying that when it comes to Michael Jordan, right? Moved, jumping ability, everything. He was the only one of his kind.
Right.
Right? Is that a true statement?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, depending on where you're going to put.
As shooting guard.
Where you going to put Dominique?
Shooting guard, Dominique was a three-man. How many shooting guards had a 40-plus inch vertical in that era?
One.
Who?
David Thompson.
Okay.
Sean Kemp, probably.
Four-man. So
you said a guard, as far as guard?
Shooting guard, yeah.
Yeah, probably just one or two.
Okay. Now, where does he rank in shooting guards?
Mike?
No, David Thompson.
Depends on who you ask.
History. By the consensus.
Not even top.
Not even top what? Nothing.
Yeah.
25, top 30.
Okay, so basically all Jordan's competition in that era did not even have the physical tools to keep up with him. So he was basically a Bugatti, and everybody else was Honda, Civic, and most people, all the shooting guards were 6'4" and under.
Webb.
They didn't have no jumping ability, right? So who he went against, he's saying they wasn't talented, meaning they wasn't athletic to keep up with him. Today, everybody, I got a 40-something. Everybody I'm going against has a 40-inch vertical that can jump with me.
So he's saying like nobody was a Bugatti like Mike. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is a Bugatti's only good when it's going this way, and it's going fast. It's one-dimensional. It looks good and it goes fast. You know what this Honda can do? I can park and I can get the fuck out of here. I can actually hit the motherfucking curb, bounce off that bitch, and keep on riding. You know what you're gonna do when you hit something with that Bugatti? You're gonna stop, you're gonna call the motherfucker, I hit something with my Bugatti. I hit my Bugatti.
But that Bugatti never got hit.
It's gonna go 0 to 60, it's gonna go fast, right? Woo! But if I gotta turn, it's the wrong car.
But that didn't happen.
The wrong car.
But that didn't happen, Mike.
That's the point. One track. We're talking offense only. We're talking speed. We're talking talent.
But that's what he's talking. That don't change the context to make a difference.
Michael Jordan was a defensive player of the year.
The first sentence of the thing said, tough in this era. They said, I didn't watch back then, so I can't speak on it. They say it was tougher back then than it is now. Now, he references skill because they're questioning whether it was tougher or not. and whether you niggas can come play when we was playing. He's saying, well, yeah, of course we could, because Mike was the only real.
He was the only one that
He was the only one that was skilled like we are.
So it was tougher, more physical, but y'all didn't have the skill that we possessed.
That's all he's saying. And it's true.
And
Like,
it's
I don't know why they arguing this. It's a true statement.
Because KG and Paul Pierce both said on the show.
They arguing points. They're not even in the conversation.
Listen, but this is what they said. They said if y'all played back then, y'all wouldn't even
back then 2000.
But wait.
That's not
y'all wouldn't even be able to get to the step back. You wouldn't be able to get to none of that shit.
It's an argument he's arguing
that's cap.
What I'm saying,
can't get to none of that shit. And we hitting you.
That's cap.
And we breaking your nose.
Cap.
And
he's talking about our era. You're not even part of this.
He was talking about Mike's era.
No, he's not.
Because he was in Mike's era. KG was in Mike's era.
The step back, that's the 2000s when they had to come in and change the rules. It was 99, 2000. That's our era. You're not even part of this argument. Just because you was drafted, stop jumping into the argument if you're not actually part of it.
So here's my question for you, though. You hear Anthony Edwards say that MJ was the only one that had skill back then. Naturally, Magic Johnson is going to say, hold up, young fella.
Yes, bro.
I was skilled.
Yes.
I'm doing what I was doing.
If you were skilled back then, nigga, he's not talking about you. He's like,
but if I say only one person,
when you make a reference, then this is why I say people just want to be part of the argument. If I make a reference, niggas couldn't stop me back then. What position am I talking about?
Point guard.
I'm talking about so I don't need Ben Wallace to come out here. I'll block you 5 times. Nigga, I'm not talking about. Shut up.
Just like you said, I need context then, nigga.
The context.
Give me fucking context. Clear up who you talking about and when and why. Say point guards couldn't guard me, nigga.
We don't need to.
Yeah, you do, because now I'm coming out like, nigga, yeah, I blocked you 5 times. What you talking about?
But no one does that. We know he's talking about shooting guards, so we don't need 2 point guards who was more skilled than everybody coming out talking about.
Bro, that's like everybody in the LeBron fans, right? They putting up a stat between me and LeBron and how many points LeBron had versus how many points I had. Nigga, I barely even fucking played. This nigga averaged 40 minutes a game.
But you guys play the same position, right?
Listen, I never was really in the game guarding a nigga like that. So now what they'll say is LeBron averaged 40 on you, and I'm like, nigga, you know what are you talking about?
That's the thing that Gil's saying. When Gil's saying like, yo, I'm talking about none of y'all can guard me. He talking about point guards, just like when you talk about LeBron. So they're going to go to you because
you're talking about a certain person.
So you're talking about a certain person that play your position.
Still don't matter. The game is the team. My team played.
They don't care.
You can't just. That's why this generation is cooked. That's why he said what he said. He sound crazy. You're cooked.
No, when KG say, man, I used to bust their asses. We know who he's talking about. Everybody who got the power forward.
He's talking about the team.
Me.
You know, he's talking about the team. I used to bust that team ass.
He never said
I used to bust whoever was guarding me. I used to kill him with all of them forward. All of them centers.
So we know he's talking about shooting guards and the shooting guards that was in era. Like, we know that. So people need to stop trying to move it so they can talk about it. Magic, we know you have skill. Bird, these is not your let the 2 guards speak for the 2 guards.
Oh, man.
Let the shooting guards speak for the shooting guards.
Just like you saying, I scored 60 on Kobe.
Let the shooting guards.
When you say that, that's false, Gil. And you know it. And you say it for the cap. You literally say it for cap, and you know you didn't score 60 on Kobe. 24 points you scored
35.
on Kobe. You keep changing it every
35,
time. You went from 24 to 35. I'm like, God damn, bro. You know you didn't score 60 on Kobe.
Well, technically, Kobe's team. Well, technically, look at it, because this counts too. If I was his responsibility and I got the rebound and took off, those are 2 points. If I got fouled,
oh my God! If you get the rebound off the transition,
if you're guarding me, and I get the rebound, and you get mixed up in what's the name because I just blew past you and scored, that's not a point on me, Gilbert.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You niggas are what?
If you foul me and I go to the free throw,
we're in transition. You get the rebound.
I'm your man,
and somebody picks you up in transition. No, I'm on the other side.
No one picked me because I'm too fast. I just got it off the rebound and took off and scored the 2 points.
But I'm not near you.
And I got to steal.
But I'm not near you.
I got to steal and win and score. They don't count towards you?
No. Your points are when I'm guarding you, I'm in front of you. Hey, I got this. No help. All right. Bucket.
And I backdoor, you get free throws. None of that counts.
Backdoor. If I'm guarding you, yes. Backdoor, yes. Because I missed it. He scored.
How about free throws?
If I foul you, yes.
How about if anybody foul me?
No, not anybody. If I foul you. If I foul
So
you.
nobody scores no points, so nobody then.
What if he
I
dribbles
just remember
by
the
you?
scouting
and he
report used to
Dribbles
come.
by me, get fouled, it's on me.
Okay.
Yes.
I just remember when the scouting report used to come and they had who you was against.
And that's it.
And
Your man's
then
score?
and then after the thing when it came up,
You know damn, he knows damn well.
Then,
he
no,
knows
if you're on the
damn well.
bench, if you're on the bench and the nigga getting hot, then he ain't scoring on me.
Shit.
I'm on the bench.
Nigga be like this, man, put me back in. Come on, man.
I
You get too many points.
Because
I'ma look bad.
He only had 3 when I was in. Now he got 12 when I come back in.
I'ma look
He got
bad.
12. Yeah.
Yeah, we know that already. so when
Not fair,
when the nigga be like, yo, I scored
fair.
way up against that nigga.
Nah.
You already know how that looks, dog.
No.
You already know. And anybody in the chat, y'all little hooper, y'all already know. If an NBA player played on the court and you played in that game, even if he didn't guard you, when you told that story, you told the stories as if you bust his ass. Like, yo, Shaw showed up, nigga, I was torching that nigga, man. I done won 5 games.
Hey, we know what type of niggas.
You already know we do
know
that.
what type of niggas it is.
You already know.
and the thing is, could have been just 2 buckets.
2 buckets.
But so
On
what
me.
though?
Just
But-
on
yeah.
me.
It couldn't even been on you. It's just you was in the game.
Yeah, you was just
I
out there.
scored 41. Jordan was there. Shit, I scored 41 on Jordan. I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
Fair. That's a fair.
In that case, I had 34 on Kenyon.
Hell yeah.
Top.
Who's the best player on the team?
Who? I think.
Melo.
Yeah.
You scored 41 Melo.
34 on Melo, man.
What's his ass?
Well, Kenyon was actually guarding me a little bit, but yeah. Well, whoever.
This minutia and context is unnecessary.
But tell the point guards, man, 80s, 90s, relax. Let the shooting guards speak for themselves.
So, Gil, by your estimation, how many players have Jordan's skill in this current NBA? Not saying they're Michael Jordan, but have a similar skill set. So let's just preference that.
See, that's if we just do just raw, right? All we can go off is just the metrics of their agility, speed, the speed, and then their jumping ability, height, and attributes. That's all we can go off of. How you use it is very. So as a shooting guard, like who we're talking about? You're talking about somebody like DeRozan, right? You're talking about James Harden. You're talking about PG. You're talking about
Very skilled gentleman.
Zach LaVine, right? Fucking Monk can go up in there. Like, I mean, you're talking about a whole bunch of players that they sit at, like, it's a normal thing, 40-inch verticals. That wasn't a thing back then.
But you're talking about guys who are a mix of both, I think, as far as talent and skill. DeRozan, all those guys have a mix of both. They hit the midi, they can do things, but they're also uber athletic.
That's what I said. He didn't have Uber. Like you're talking about Reggie Miller's, Joe Dumars.
Right,
Like, these
right.
guys.
They're not athletic at all.
You know what I mean? Said like one of the only person that really had like above average was John Starks. Above average athleticism. That was a competition. Above average, like, you know what I mean? And he was 6'4", so you're talking about somebody 6'6", with that kind of jumping ability, and everybody else is 6'4". So think about everybody else who couldn't jump past 36 inches, right? Like if you really want, like if we really want to have this discussion about Jordan's competition, just go this, top 5 shooting guards in history. He didn't play against any of them. In their prime. Kobe's 2. But he had a young Kobe at
98.
98, 90. Okay, Allen Iverson. Dwayne Wade, right? James Harden, T-Mac, Vince. Like he didn't, like, so when we talk about the top 10, the Jordan didn't face these guys. History is showing you who's who now because time has went by.
The chat is saying Clyde Drexler deserves a look at what he was doing.
For
Jumping ability, but
sure.
but did Clyde, like Clyde was athletic.
He was just gliding.
Did he?
It was the Clyde.
Like he
He
didn't.
had good post game.
But remember that. But that's what I'm saying. Back then they had the dribble. It was different, right? So it's
Why are you doing it like this though?
for the most part.
He's saying they don't got no skill. He said,
No, it's just rules, man.
We was passing the ball
I'm
more
gonna
back then. We wasn't handling it. Hey, get off
That's
the
what I'm saying.
ball.
I'm gonna say, listen, you were handicapped by your time, man. It was the rule. So when you're looking at some guy who can go 200 miles an hour and they look at a car, that car at the time was going 100, that was fast as fuck back then.
Yeah.
Right? But a guy who's moving at 200, that is slow. Right? Like, and that's all it really is. It's disrespectful, but you got to look at it from his engine now.
Yeah, especially when you're going to go get an old school car still buying old
Muscle
schools.
cars, yeah.
Like if he said, if like Kyrie and Dame and all them, like, yo, we most skillful than the 2000, you're not going to hear me be like, oh, no, that's fucked up. I will bust your ass. You're doing things that wasn't even available. We ain't even... Like, it wasn't the double step back with like, all that stuff wasn't available when I played. So, yeah, you're more skillful than I was.
But could you fuck with me, though? That's what they said. Like, imagine it's like, hey, yeah, I hear all that, but young fella, you wouldn't be able to fuck with me.
Yeah, but
you wouldn't be able to fuck with me. I hear you what you're saying, but I'll put your ass down there in that gas chamber, see what you did, see what it smelled like.
But that's why I said when people talk about, like, could who stop who? You have to go with the evolution.
Yeah.
Right? Because, that's why I said when Grant Hill came in with the left to right crossover, they didn't even know what to do then. Hey, just come on, man. Right? So you got to keep everybody in the information that they have. So these guys don't have this information, right? These guys don't know what it is to play in the 80s and 90s. You needed a different skill. You needed to be cerebral, right? You had to be smarter about the game.
You had to be ready to turn up all night.
Like I can't get by you with a crossover. We didn't have crossover. Niggas didn't crossover like that. So I gotta.
It wasn't even that they didn't. It's that we not allowing that because we get to use our hands. We're way more physical than you guys are now. And if you think about it, the game now, if they were to play back then, now it would be way more open. It would be the tricks that Mike had to use to get them niggas off of him because they was holding him and shit. He wouldn't have to use those tricks. These are tricks that created skill levels to get away from schemes and shit. Like, oh, they holding me over the screen, man. How am I gonna get over this shit? Well, I gotta lock his hand. Like, it's little shit that today they don't have none of that shit.
Man, they didn't have crossover. They didn't even have basic
They didn't need it
because they didn't have it. They didn't need behind the back move, behind the backs and all that, and spins. They didn't do that then. The offense was different then. Like when people talk about hand checking, that was so overrated.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because who went downhill?
It's half court. We're half court.
Who went downhill? Remember, the point guards, what do they do? Set it, go to the side.
But there was a nail. Niggas is at the nail making you pass.
No, what I'm saying is go to the side, wait for your big, two guard, go set a screen on the big man. So you had to sit there and idle while motherfucker held your whole side. Then they can push you over because the point guard wasn't the point guard to today trying to score 20 or 30. Because if the hand check was that good, why was there an Isaiah Thomas?
But the paint was still packed, right? Think about the paint. The paint was so jam-packed that it made sense to be out there letting a nigga hand check you because I'm not trying to go in there. There's too many motherfuckers in there.
But I'm saying if the hand check was that great, why was there an Isaiah Thomas coming through the lane scoring at will? Why was there a Tim Hardaway coming in the lane scoring? When guards who needed to score, those scoring guards came into the league and went downhill, where was the hand check? Why didn't it work then?
It did. It just didn't work on them.
No,
it just didn't work on them, which made them special.
It's just, if I'm facing you like this, where are you hand checking me at? What part of my body you hand check? I'm facing you. You can't.
No, at all.
Okay.
So they didn't never play. They always, back then, they turned their bodies.
Exactly.
Right.
So back then, they turned their bodies because they wasn't in a threat. When the guard started coming down like this, coming at you, the hand check was irrelevant.
Because they're not setting up an offense. They're trying to go one-on-one.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you put the mindsets of that, you have to keep the guy with the same mindset. So if I'm taking Kyrie and I'm saying I'm going to put you in the 80s, I have to keep his mindset the same.
Yeah, right.
He is not there. So he's going to be sitting there doing it. You're not going to stay in front of him.
But the difference is I can bump and control Kyrie. I can ride him into the paint. I can ride him to the baseline. And what's going to frustrate Kyrie is the fact that they not calling that shit. That's not a foul, Kai.
But
stop fucking crying. Take your ass down there. And if I decide to push you out of bounds all the way and they don't call it.
But they did. Like Tim Hardaway, like these guys coming in rookie season scoring 20-something a game. It happened. So the aggressive guards that came into the league, when they came into the league, they scored. They didn't, if you look in year after year, as long as the game evolved, those guards was coming down scoring. So by the time AI came into the league, it was like, oh shit, What the fuck is this? Move him to the 2.
So you just proved the point that
Move him to the 2. I don't want
You just proved the point that year to year is the progression of the league from whether you say Isaiah to 96. Tim Hardaway comes in, more skillful. These are guys who create, they scoring it because the skill was acute. There were guys back then with skill.
Shooting guards.
That could do things that other guys couldn't do in the league.
But not at Jordan's level. It's all levels.
Of course not.
Man.
Of course not.
But that's all he's saying. It's like he's being compared to who? Jordan. Now he ain't being compared to fucking Joe Dumars or Reggie Miller and
Everybody needs to be quiet. Everybody need to be quiet.
So when he's looking at it, he's like, shit, I gotta go against the Tatum. I gotta go against Jimmy Butler. I gotta go against all these dudes that got the same type of ability as me. It is harder because these guys have the engines to keep up with me. That's all he's saying.
So
like even when I played, right? For the most part, I didn't play against a Kyrie. I didn't play against a Dame. I didn't play against a Curry. My hardest matchup was Mike James. 20 points a game.
Yep.
I didn't have to go against Allen Iverson, right? Mike Bibby gonna give you 15, 18, right? J. Kidd gonna give you 12 to 17. Like there was nobody sitting there trying to score 30. It had me. It had me at 29. The closest point guard was 19.
Yeah.
Mike James, and it fell off after that because those guys didn't go like that. So I never had to face a dude who was literally trying to shoot the ball 20, 30 times. So when people are like, yo, how would you play in this Aaron guard? I get my ass buzzed, I can tell you that for sure. Because later in my career, when the Stephs and them and the Monte Ellis them came in, whoo-hoo.
Different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just mindsets, you know, so it's.
In response to Ant-Man's comments, you brought this up earlier, Kevin Garnett had this to say. He said, if I'm being honest, bro, I don't think anybody in this generation could have played like 20 years ago, if I'm being 100.
2024.
So that's 2004.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's arguing.
But will players in the league today be able to handle the physicality and toughness of the 80s and 90s basketball if we take it back just a little bit further?
Yes.
Because they are big too. I'm just being
Listen.
real.
Yes, man. Like, stop. Like, even him saying tough, 90s say, they say you couldn't handle our era. 80s say you couldn't handle our era. It's, listen, don't penalize me for what the league is doing. But if you're saying, I'm going to take your body and then put it in the 80s and you just got to adapt, players adapt. Right? If you're going to let me flop around and you're going to call it, of course I'm going to do it. If you say, don't call no fouls, like the playoffs happen, we play tougher. Right? But to say a dude that's 6'6", 235 couldn't play in an era where your power force is 210 pounds just seems stupid. Right? Don't complain about how the game is played. That's the referee. That's the way the game is being played. But if you're telling us play like without fouls, tell the refs to stop calling some of the stuff. We will adapt. Players will adapt. We adapt. Right? I mean, like, are we stoic? We can't adapt to new environments. It's just, come on.
Brandon, you agree or disagree with that?
Huh?
I don't think they can adapt.
You don't think players from this generation will be
I
able
think
to
they're
handle
too
the toughness and
sensitive. I think it's
physicality?
gotten too sensitive to the point. We see Luka complain every single play down court. We see LeBron complain every single foul that's not getting called. We don't see, like, when we used to go to the park and you didn't get no foul, get up and keep going. Sometimes you go to the park, you're like, look, I didn't come here to call fouls.
For fouls.
I didn't come here to call fouls. I didn't come up here to call fouls. Keep playing, bro. Keep playing. You go up here and niggas call foul every single time because niggas don't want to miss shots. Niggas don't want to look bad. Oh, you just clanking that shit. I need a foul. That's a foul. It's like back then, man. Hey, get him out.
Y'all every era.
Get him out. That's a bad shot.
About fouls.
That's a bad shot.
Every era.
That ain't no foul.
Anybody playing the NBA is complaining about fouls.
But that's why I hate the argument of it, because the evolution, the commissioner has changed it, not the players. Like, if you listen to Isaiah Thomas talk about Michael Jordan, he said he complained about fouls. And they had to change the whole league because he was crying about getting clotheslined and shit like that. And he had to change, and y'all became soft. It's everybody's argument.
Bird and them was called.
But obviously, them fucking fouls didn't do nothing to him when he averaged 35 and 37. Like, it sounds stupid. He's crying about fouls, but the nigga averaged 37 and 35 in this same league. So obviously.
So why is he complaining about fouls? If he did that.
Because it came to the point where
you can't beat us.
You can't beat me with your skill. You have to hurt me. That is the problem with everybody's argument.
Everybody's getting the same treatment except for you. You're the only one that can't handle it.
When you say
everybody else is cool with us fouling the way we fouling, you the only one went to the principal and said, I don't like the way they treating me.
Yeah, I'm averaging 37. Which
I don't like the way they treat me.
I'm averaging 37. You niggas can't guard. How are you guarding me? I hate when people say, well, we'll clothesline you. That's not guarding me.
That's defending the basket.
No, it's not, nigga.
That's defending the basket.
No, that's trying to end my career.
That's defending the basket.
Clothesline is somebody.
How about this?
That's not basketball.
Name who's the top 10 who's the top 10 NBA defenders ever?
Name them.
We're gonna let the Google do it. And I guarantee you.
ChatGPT, don't Google. Google don't know shit.
I'm just saying. So when you talk about when we talk about Hakeem Olajuwon, right? He was a great defender. Was he a dirty player? Did he clothesline people? No. When we talk about Bird was a great defender. No dirty plays. None.
Definitely had dirty plays.
Michael Jordan.
Okay. Yep. So Michael Jordan wasn't clotheslining nobody and doing all that dumb shit. Okay.
Hakeem.
Okay. Same.
Tim Duncan.
Okay. Didn't do none of that.
Dikembe.
Okay.
Dennis Rodman.
Okay. He was the only one. Okay. We're gonna.
I mean, that's
one.
Ben Wallace. If you want to.
Okay. Same.
Kawhi, if you want to throw him in the mix.
Okay.
This is clutch list, so I'm not.
So this proves your point. A great defensive player looks at the rules, right? I can't do this, and I defend you under the rules. This is not defense. I can't guard your dog, help, and then I clothesline you. That's not defense. So when you say toughness, and whenever they say toughness, they always use some type of form of, when you come through the lane, I'm going to do all that.
What's the point of an enforcer?
Why is no enforcer's named Defensive Player of the Year?
Because it's not
considered defense.
Because it's you're enforcing, bro.
So it's not a skill.
Danny Fortson was an enforcer.
No, not really.
Brian Grant was an enforcer.
So I can't.
Kurt Thomas was an enforcer. Right. I'm sent in the game to make sure your ass don't think anything in here is sweet. I'm taking the fouls. Whoa. Dikembe, relax. We need you on defense. I came in here to get this foul. I came in. Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn. I came in here to get these fouls. When y'all niggas come up against us, you see me, you like, man, I'm not going in there fucking with them today. It's jump shots today. I'll go ham tomorrow when I'm playing against the niggas that's not them. That was the energy.
So basically the dudes that don't know how to play basketball just foul everybody. That dude at the park, I don't know, you know that nigga who just over-aggressive, don't know how to do nothing, sitting there playing like this.
Yes, sent him in to do that.
And
sent him in to do that. Guard him, face guard him. He don't get to smell it.
Yep, and then what ended up
frustrating.
And what ended up happening? They realized when Garnett, Duncan, Ray LaFrance, Dirk Nowitzki, when they came in, it was like, oh shit, at this position, we can have more scoring. We don't need these old dinosaur dudes fouling. We don't need no enforcer.
Right.
Because we got a dude that can shoot. And that becomes like this. What happened is the unskilled just tried to hurt the skillful players. And that's what the commissioner realized. The guys who had no talent, they're getting put in the game to hurt the guy who everybody came to see.
It wasn't to hurt them. It was to enforce that you're not going to get the easy shit you're used to getting. You're used to getting layups. Guess what? There's not going to be any tonight.
What?
No layups. We had a rule against LeBron. No layups, bro. If he gets a layup, it's going to spark his whole momentum. He thrives on dunks. If he gets a fast break, fouling.
Okay, so
fouling. So we're not giving up no dunks to LeBron because that's his momentum.
Okay, so how can someone stand on the fact that they were defense, but all their defense was just clotheslining people? Like how do we separate plays that has nothing to do with the sport and say, okay, you played great defense. And that's what the defensive players got the award. So, yeah, these guys hit you and they do all this brutally stuff, but we're not calling that defense.
Did you ever hear from your coach, don't give up a layup?
Yes.
Right? No easy. So what does that mean? Foul.
Oh, I thought stand in front of the guy and play some defense.
So if Shaq's under the basket, right? Shaq's under the basket, gets the offensive rebound. Do we let him dunk it or do we foul him?
We foul him because he's not a good free throw.
Boom.
Do you call that defense? No.
Because
What do you?
yeah.
I'm defending the basket.
If he misses both,
And it's a successful defense.
No,
It's a bad.
But what I'm saying is, we just named, and none of those guys, for the most part, besides Dennis Rodman, which was a weird one because he played. What's the funny part is even with Dennis Rodman, besides fucking with Karl Malone, for the most part he was a regular player. He did little.
He played hard.
He did dumb stuff here and there, but for the most part, Dennis played basketball.
That's a fact.
He moved his feet. Gary Payton, they played defense under the rules of defense. These guys was not considered dirty basketball players.
The only guy
you
we can
can't be called. I cannot go by you and you say you're the defensive player and I shake you and then you go in and clothesline me and say no. Dog, you suck at defense. You're just making it up by clotheslining me. That's not defense.
So
That is not a defensive
did Ron
player.
Artest ever do that?
No, Ron Artest was not a dirty player. Ron Artest was not a dirty player.
I didn't say he was dirty. I said, has he ever fouled somebody that he couldn't guard?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Here
foul.
and there.
Hard foul. Hard foul.
But he didn't go into the game. What I'm saying is he didn't go, like, he tried to defend you. Like
Everybody out there
Kobe
trying to defend.
defended you.
I think
Rajah Bell used to do Rajah Bell
So
did some dirty shit to Kobe.
Because what did Kobe do? Kobe gonna sit there and do all the extra, so he's giving them back. But for the most part,
He's not a dirty player though.
But he's not like I wouldn't say
Rajah Bell's-
Bruce Bowen, all these guys. They
There
was
was only a
defensive
couple
players.
dirty niggas back then. It was probably Bill
And
Laimbeer and Rick Mahorn. Them the only niggas that was really being Kevin McHale, Rambis, all them type of niggas that we see getting close. It was like 5 of them. It's like 5. Everybody else was enforcers. Anthony
Same
Mason, Charles Oakley, niggas, Charles Smith. All them niggas tear your face off if you come in here.
That Knicks team. I mean, that Knicks team had a bunch of just.
Tear your face off. Pump fake you. You jumped out of the
Brutal, it was
room.
brutal.
Boom, go in the lane. You clothesline me.
That Knicks team
Oh
was
man, great
brutal.
defense,
It's
dog.
hard foul. It's just a hard foul.
No, I get
it ain't
that part. I get
it's
that
hard
part.
fouling. It's hard foul.
Okay, so look. Okay, hard foul. So
mean, you got fouled.
So why can't these guys today play in the era then?
Because the flagrant 1, flagrant 2, and the
See,
review.
that's rules.
Flagrant 1, flagrant 2.
That's NBA
Somebody's
rules.
complaining.
So if you take
Hey
out,
man, we
what
gotta
I'm saying is,
protect it. They hitting us too hard out there.
if you take out the rules and say, hey, these are not whatever they're gonna be, right? And it's just standard basketball. And say, we're gonna play 80s basketball. So we're gonna take your bodies and put you in the 80s, and you're saying these guys are not gonna dominate a bunch of dudes that got 32-inch verticals?
It's gonna be more difficult because you're not gonna just.
Your power 4 weighs all of 210 and fucking everybody's sitting at 285?
It's just gonna be.
Come on, man.
It's gonna be a little bit more difficult.
So they get to hit you too.
You said a little bit.
It's gonna be a little bit more difficult.
What I'm saying is, I get to hit you too, nigga.
They ain't hitting nobody now.
I get
They ain't hitting them.
I'm not allowed to.
Exactly.
You're putting
So you
me
don't
in
even-
there.
you don't know
You're
how
putting
to.
me in that
You don't even
era.
know how
You're
to.
putting
You don't
me
even
in
know
that
how to.
era where I can now. So you're saying you're 6'1", 165 pounds. I'm all of 6'4", 225. I get to hit you too.
Who's that size? Who you talking about?
Everybody is that size now.
Today playing. I'm talking about today.
Who's hitting on Luka? Which point guards is going to be sitting there hitting on Luka with their size? You got to keep them in their same frame.
No, but
Yeah,
we're not
I'm
talking
saying
about guards hitting on guard. We're talking about guards coming in here and you got to go up against Alonzo Mourning and David Robinson and all of these niggas.
235.
What you mean, them? You got to bring them out to the way. Like right now, bro, you'll be guarding Luka.
Yeah.
Like
Give me that matchup.
But
as a small forward. But I'm just saying, like
how about first,
your guards in your area.
how many in 80s? How many people are as big as you, dog? Come on, man.
In the 80s?
Yeah.
Yes. You're bullying through the groove. There's nobody who's hitting you that is phasing your body size. They did not weigh that much then.
Yeah.
Look at Karl Malone in the 80s. Did you see how he's...
But we talking about guards though. I'm not talking.
I'm just
about
talking
the big.
But when you go by the guard and you're getting hit by dudes you're bigger than.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm getting hit by 7-footers.
7-footer who weighs all of what though? 210, 215, 220.
What centers are you?
All of them.
Which one?
Everyone. How big was? Shit. I mean.
You're telling me that
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is all of 162 pounds now. Shit. So that means he was all. If he broke 200, I'd be like, yeah, that's cool.
Guards today is coming down dunking on Hakeem.
Come on, dog.
I mean, not Hakeem, Kareem.
No, I'm just saying, let's just take the body size itself. When you're talking about dudes, they wasn't sitting there with the weight. They didn't even have the weight programs like we have now.
Alonzo Mourning, 6'10", 240.
So Kareem was 225 to 265 at points in his career.
225 to 265.
Kareem was what?
225 to 265. 265 later in his career.
Who else we want to talk about? He said 210. He said 210. 210, that's 30 pounds.
Zion is celebrating 271.
That's one guy. That's one guy. That's one guy.
Luka?
Come on, dog.
That's one guy.
But I'm just saying.
And he's genetically...
No, but what I'm saying
genetically opposed. That's one guy.
But that's what I'm saying.
James Harden.
But
how many centers you want me to type in to find out how big their weight was? I bet they all was over 230.
Hakeem, over 230. The guards are sitting at that now.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
I was 224 when I played. Like, what do we like?
Hakeem Olajuwon, 7 foot, 255.
Okay.
7 foot 255.
You said 210, bro. I'm just saying, exaggeration is quite.
Y'all remember?
hold on,
y'all remember that document?
It's a lot.
And then Zion is 270?
270. You remember the
80 right now.
You remember the? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think Embiid real weight is, or Luke, or Jokic real weight is? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The Dikembe Mutombo, 7'2", 245.
Ooh.
If that. I'm pretty sure he had to have weights on.
All right, but
Shaba.
very fruitful discussion, but let's keep this thing moving.
I can just.
If you want to get down with Underdog Fantasy.